defending, but I think Bubbles maybe could have went on there. That's a couple of times he's passed, and maybe when the better option was to go for it. Here's Lehan on the ball again.
And he is certainly laying down a marker in this match. Lehan hits it, but hits it wide. Scorer of 5 points so far. Most of them have been from frees, one from play. Working really, really hard, just out of luck with his finishing that time. And so it's still a 2-point game. Cork leading. From the puck out, Spillane comes across. That's Colin Spillane. Hand passes it forward to Christopher Joyce. Joyce knocks it down along the side once again, down there towards Alan Cadigan. And whatever ball goes in towards Cadigan, he's able to win it, in particular if it's low, but this time the ball is played back out again. Dan McCormack going to pick it up. Driving it away inside. Looking once again here for O'Dwyer. Stopped by Stephen MacDonald. Linking up with goalkeeper Anthony Nash. Change of direction from Nash, keeping it away from Caledon. Back out it comes once again, out as far as Mark Coleman. Coleman into Shane Kingston, into Harnedy in fact. Harnedy was moved across to left half, and Harnedy lets this one run short. And Darren Gleeson's able to pick it up and send it right down through the centre once more. John O'Dwyer may have been his target, but he doesn't get to him. It gets to Mark Ellis instead. In as far as Conor Lehan. Lehan darting this way and that, trying to go by. Couple of players after him. Still manages to get enough space and fires it over the bar. It's a 6 for Lehan. He's turned on the style here in Semple Stadium, and there's a goal between the teams again.
Yeah, that was great anticipation there. He knew he was going to be hooked. He let it land. And I mentioned the confidence earlier on of John McGrath, but Lehan had a couple of bad rides. And this is a feature of Cork today. Their overhead catching is unbelievable. Mark Ellis there again, and he's looking up. Mark Coleman is supplying great ball over the half-back there as well. And that's where the launch pad of this brilliant performance is coming from so far.
A couple of interesting switches in the half-back line as well. Paddy Maher has now gone centre-half back to pick up Lehan as that ball is struck from way out of the wings, and over the bar it's gone. Really good score from Michael Breen, who's got a 4th.
Yeah, he's the one tip player that looks to have loads of energy, and he's flying around. That's a brilliant score from right out in the 65-metre line. And here's Luke Beaton to catch. You can't take her off this stint for a second.
Great puck out to Meade, to Kingston, the goal scorer. And another score for Kingston. He's got a point. He's got a goal and 3. Well, it's a player that Cork fans would have loved to have seen in action a little bit before this, but he had a broken leg, recovering from that, and his father wasn't going to rush him too much. He's only, what is he, 19 years of age, loads of potential. 119 to 19 points. This puck out towards John McGrath, collected instead by Christopher Joyce. Cork may have flopped big time last year against Tip and against Wexford, but they're turning it on in the opening round of the Munster Championship against the Munster and All-Ireland champions, and Sean Curran responding, but putting this one to the right and putting it wide. It's a 7th wide for Tipperary. Curran with just 1 point so far today, playing in just his 4th championship match. A goal between them. 49 minutes are gone. Loads of time still to go. Nash pucks it out. Lehan's the target. Runs away from him. Brendan Marr coming across to help out and to clear. 2 Cork players are there waiting for it. Touch back down once again it comes. Taken infield here by Mark Ellis. Gets back onto his feet again. Keeps motoring, keeps going. That seems to be the drive and determination that's flowing right through this Cork team. In the end, it's Paddy Maher who's collected it on his own half-back line, up to a 2-man inside forward line, and it's Calnan, slips. Damien Cahalan goes back, wins it. People were saying Cahalan wouldn't be able to cope with Caledon this afternoon, but that's not been the case. Mark Coleman driving it back down towards Kingston. Runs on, picked up by James Barry. Back out here to the wings. Scampering afterward is Ronan Marr. Now venturing forward and driving it into the inside forwards once again, this time towards Caledon. Caledon coming out for it, looking to try and hold on to it this time. Aided and abetted by John McGrath, slipping it back here as far as Michael Breen, and Breen slips it between the uprights and over the bar. He's got 5. It's a terrific performance by the 22-year-old UCC student from Ballina in County Tipperary.
Yeah, you'll wonder now with 20 to go, you know, the physical power of Tipperary. They're on the road that bit longer, more mature. Will it tell? Cork full of running so far, but a couple of lads down now with injuries. Looks like cramp and maybe a knee injury there as well. But
and a change, Michael, because Niall O'Meara is going to come on. We were having this chat between ourselves beforehand that Tipperary's bench is not very experienced. But O'Mara is one of the experienced players, and Patrick Bonner-Marr, you're wondering about his fitness, of course, as well.
Yeah, he's supposed to have a hamstring as well. He was away during the winter as well with the Army. So here's Niall O'Mara coming. Sean Kern going out there.
Well, I think that's probably our answer, because when you think about it, the obvious number 11 to come on, had he been fit, would be Patrick Bonner-Marr. So it's O'Mara who comes on first. First replacement for either of these two teams. And let's see, will he make a difference? Straight away, this is the man who he will be going in, presumably, to pick up Mark Ellis. All the way down towards Seamus Hannity. Slips it across once again towards Kingston. Running on, however, to Patrick Horgan instead. And Horgan, again, slips it beyond his marker and over the bar. A fourth for Patrick Horgan. In very definitely at full forward this stage. Taking on John O'Keefe, beating him for possession, winning the race and putting it over. 120 to 20 points. Cork, by comparison with Tipperary, have a much more experienced bench this afternoon. They started with youth. They've taken a gamble, and so far that gamble is paying off. Mark Coleman down towards Alan Cadigan once again, trying to slip it back, but back there to help out is Seamus Hannity. Mark Coleman then stepping away from trouble, back to Hannity once again. A lot of work to do to get it down into the forwards. There are too many Tipperary backs on their own half-back line, and one of them is Niall O'Mara. O'Mara seems to be playing as an extra midfield player. They've isolated Calnan up there against Damien Cahalan. Calnan, can he do the business? Can he make the difference? Can he win this match eventually? Calnan has got a fifth.
Yeah, that's a great score there. Niall O'Mara just on the field, and that one-on-one is in there. Damien Cahalan's been very, very tight since the start of the game, which they're creating that one-on-one inside, and if he gets one chance of a goal, he'll take it.
Still a two-point game as that ball is hit from a huge distance out, and it is taken by the goalkeeper. I think it was Lehan who hit it in, and it is Darren Gleeson who gets that ball out. Every save like that from the goalkeeper could be so vital. Didn't let it off over the bar with his stick, wasn't taking a chance. This could be a one-point game at the end of 70 minutes, you never know. Dan McCormick fouled, but this was Gleeson going up there. Other goalkeepers might have not taken a chance. He made sure.
Yeah, super catch, and you saw that man Dan McCormick again. There was 3 Cork men around him, and he made a very important catch, and that's one area where the old failing of Tipperary resurfaced here today, and the half-forward line being beaten, but for an awful lot of the high balls, clean catching by the Cork half-back line all day.
A free to Tipperary. It's a very, very long distance out. Breeze behind Seamus Callanan, however, and this to make it what would be 120 to 22 points. 23 to 22. And he's done it.
A brilliant strike, Jerry. He's only had a couple of frees. I think that's 4 frees each. Huge amount from play. 18 points from tip from play so far. Cork with 116 from play, which is phenomenal shooting, and we've seen some fantastic scores here at Hurling.
And they're not finished yet by any man who remains. Anthony Nash ready to puck it out. Tipperary with more backs than Cork have forwards, so this is collected here by Cathal Barrett. Tipperary looking for the next score, trying to level up the match. Cork digging deep. Colm Spillane hand passing it outside to the roaming Alan Cadigan. Far from being just a right corner forward, he'll play everywhere and anywhere, using up a lot of energy with all that action he's been doing. Into Seamus Hannity once again. Hannity looking for the obvious pass to give, swings it over his shoulder. Across here it comes once again. Horgan the first time blocked down by Paddy Marr, goes again, looking for Luke Meade. Meade has a support player also available, and that is Lehan, and Lehan puts it over the bar. 7 for Lehan, the 24-year-old from Middleton, blessed with a spontaneous touch, quick feet, great hands, and really a wonderful scorer's instinct.
Yeah, Jared, credit Luke Meade there as well. You see here, Pádraig Marr gave a little tug of the jersey there, but Luke Meade had the composure just to flick it out to the unmarked Conor Lehan. He's looking over the bar. Here's Callan again.
He certainly is. Oh, it's a great ball to McGrath. What a goal! Tip lead, 122 to 121. Calnan as far as John McGrath. 56 minutes are gone.
Yeah, Colin Spillane has been all over John McGrath today, but the one chance he got, again like the point in the first half, Seamus Callan's vision, but look at the finish. John McGrath lives for those chances and he sticks it in the roof of the net.
It's only his second score in the match. Cork rocked, back they come, Lehan again! It's a sensational performance by Lehan, who's been heavily criticised by lots of people over the last couple of years, unfairly so. But when he's confident, when he's feeling good about himself, he can perform. And Cork level it up to 122 to 122. The teams are level for an amazing 14 times. Now who's going to win it? 14 minutes to go. Mark Coleman, Bill Cooper. Down here as far as Alan Cadigan. Cadigan having to go way, way back inside his own 65-metre line just to get enough space, just to locate a colleague. Picks out Mark Ellis, drills it forward towards Shane Kingston. Kingston hitting it over his right shoulder and hitting it over the bar as well with unerring accuracy and wonderful confidence. He's got a goal in 4. What a response to the tip goal.
Yeah, Joe, that's incredible. And Shane Kingston, you mentioned his bad injury earlier on, but he scored 1-4 here today. But the rotation of that Cork forward line causing all sorts of trouble for Tipperary. You see Tariq Maher gone to centre back now. Roland Maher has been switched to the wing. And that back line was shown up against Galway. They're under serious pressure here again today. And Patrick Horgan scored 4 from play. Conor Lahan 4 from play. Shane Kingston 1-4. Luke Meade 3. Alan Cadigan 3 and Seamus Hardy a point. Well, fantastic return from the Cork forwards.
Luke Farrell comes in, and you can see on the Tipperary side there bringing in Joe O'Dwyer as a corner back, and who is a cousin of John O'Dwyer. So he comes on for Seamus Kennedy. So a stage of the match where the managers are thinking in terms of survival and winning and making those vital late changes. Cadigan played really well for Cork, but clearly was tiring. Now it's up to Luke O'Farrell to show the same energy and invention. The battle-hardened Dara Fitzgibbon in the middle of the field there has done really well to win that ball, prodded forward. Back to win it, however, for Tipperary is Joe O'Dwyer on his championship debut. Hits it rather waywardly, and Anthony Nash is able to gather 20 metres out from his own goal. Hits at a phenomenal distance. Look at that, all the way down towards the 13-metre line. Picked up here by Paudie Marr. Gets away from 2 Cork forwards. Drives it back again. The match is there for the winning at this stage. But who's going to be the winning team today? Mark Coleman. The referee halting the play here because there's an injury to Seamus Callanan, and quite correctly the referee decides that it's important that Callanan receive immediate attention. 1:23 for Cork, 1:22 for Tipperary, 59 minutes gone. Coming here today, did you really think it would be
all eyes on the ball there?
It was.
Well, you know,
here today, did you really think with 11 minutes to go, there's only going to be 1 between them?
I really didn't know. I fancy Tipperary on the basis of their form last year and their experience, but that Cork forward line on paper are phenomenally talented. Tipperary is still, they're only a point behind as well, but great performance by both forward lines today. But the one thing they're
thoroughly enjoying. Horgan throwing it back here, back to Lehan, outnumbered, outmuscled. Eventually it's Noel McGrath struggling to get it away from Lehan, slips it there as far as Brendan Maher, last year's captain, way up to Calden, 2 against him, one of them able to win that ball back and try to set up the next attack. It's Christopher Joyce inside here as far as Luke O'Farrell, first touch for O'Farrell. Oh, well blocked down by Noel McGrath, and sets up his brother John, the goal scorer for Tipperary, for the next Tipperary attack, but in steps Stephen MacDonald. Then it's Niall O'Mara rolls it up, back as far as Noel McGrath. Back in once again, it comes towards Dan McCormack. McCormack trying to look for the next obvious pass to give. Gives it there as far as Niall O'Mara, and O'Mara hits it over the bar. Great work for the substitute. An important moment for him to level up the game at 1:23 to 1:23.
That's a great strike, great work right there by Noel McGrath. Great block down. He got the little touch into Niall O'Mara, but they really had to work very, very hard. Very important score.
10 minutes to go. Nash puck out, collected by Tipperary. Off they go again, looking for the next score. Will they get it? No, it comes off the upright. Back down again. That was Joe Dwyer. Mark Ellis collecting, taking it down again. It's anybody's match. Towards Luke O'Farrell. Won there, however, by Cathal Barrett, who injures himself in the process, and he's struggling with a knee injury as he's gone down, and he's still down. Play continues at the other end. It's Damien Cahalane. Needs his goalkeeper. Attention given straight away to Cathal Barrett. Play continues. Tipperary have only 14 players at the moment fit and out on the field. They're attacking again. Niall O'Mara trying to round a couple of Cork backs. It's still O'Mara doing an awful lot himself. Runs on towards Seamus Calden. Comes out. Tries to lay it back to somebody. Hit away in the end by Shane Kingston. And eventually the play is halted with Luke O'Farrell having the ball in his hands. But I think that Cathal Barrett is probably going to have to be replaced. I think he did his knee that time as he was coming out and is in obvious distress. Just watch it again here. Oh, it looks awful. Yeah,
he stuck his foot in there. That looks terrible. And in the first half, we saw a fierce battle with Alan Cadigan, who scored 3 points. But since half-time, Cathal Barrett has given extra.
He had blown up the play there, but they can from here. Seamus Harnedy advancing, looking to hit this one, but hits it low. Gleeson's able to take. And we know how hard he can belt them. And with the wind behind him, he's letting it off down towards Seamus Calden once again, up against Damien Cahalane. First touch isn't a great one by Calden, but he's able to win it. Has to go back, way back. Back here as far as the midfielder. And that one is hit, and it's hit over the bar. Brilliantly done. Last year's captain, Brendan Marr, gets his second point and puts Tipperary in front by 124 to 123. At a critical stage in the match with just over 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, and Seamus Callan had a lot of work to do there. He did very well to get it out to Brendan Marr, and a great strike. We've seen it all day, lads, score from distance. Here's Lehane.
One shot by Lehane. That is a brilliant shot. Oh, yes. 9 points by Conor Lehane in this game. A real tour de force by the Middleton player, taking on everybody and anybody. Well, so many star performers in this match.
And Ronan Marr was centre-back. Torrick was moved in there maybe 10 minutes ago, and he scored the last couple of points off him. He's just given an absolute master class today, and he had a few wides earlier on. He could have 8 or 9 points from play at this stage.
I was looking at a list in one of the journals during the week of the 10 most important, influential players in the country, and Lehane's name wasn't there, and I honestly felt it should have been. That was down to his own inconsistency, but today he's turned it on. Darragh Fitzgibbon has had a wonderful match as well. All the way in here, inside towards Harnedy, who's going to run across and chase after it. It goes off the Tipperary player, and it's gone for his 65. Well...
Yeah, and a quick mention for Luke Meade, Jerry's first championship match today. Brilliant contribution, 3 points in play.
As we watch Conor Lehane hit the 65 and hit it over the bar. 10 points for Lehane. Cork lead by 125 to 124 as Cathal Barrett receives attention on the sideline here, and they put some ice on that knee immediately. Well, now, does any team deserve to lose this match? Well, this is the turnovers: 40 for Tipperary, 36 for Cork. Cork edging it on the scoreboard. Christopher Joyce's pass intended for Horgan there, intercepted, but Horgan will win it back inside his own 65-metre line. Pursued by Noel McGrath. McGrath gets the stick in. So too did Michael Breen and Brendan Marr. And in the end, it's got to be a line ball, which will be to Cork.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. He originally gave it to Tipperary, but changed his mind.
So the line ball to Cork, and they're in no particular hurry to come across and take it. Just to remind you that next week the Sunday game features football and hurling. Derry against Tyrone in Ulster, Galway and Dublin in the Leinster Hurling Championship. Mark Coleman hitting it with his hurley on a left-sided strike, makes a wonderful connection down into the 20-metre line, runs on. Oh, Harnedy was going after it, was brushing aside John O'Keefe, but James Barry got there. Steady and assured. Powerfully away by Ronan Marr. In there towards Bubbles. Got to stick to it, but so too did his marker. Mark Coleman gets it back. Held on to here. Luke O'Farrell. Touched out by John O'Keefe. Won back by Paddy Marr. over the head there of Seamus Callan that time. Collected here by Mark Coleman. Cork holding on to their 1 point advantage, 125 to 124. They go again. That time it's Dara Fitzgibbon inside. Here's a chance! What a goal by the substitute, Mikey Cahalane! The man who came back, the man about whom there were serious concerns that he might never play sport again, has put Cork 4 points in front with about 2 minutes to go, 225 to 124.
Well, he took the chance, Jerry, crept in behind and got the ball, and first touch in Championship hurling, just sticks it in the net. Brilliant finish, but Thomas James Barry only went out waving at the ball, missed it completely, and that could be should be the decisive score now at this stage.
What have Tip got to come back with, and they've got a point through Dan McCormack, his third. Still in touch, only a 3-point difference. Well, Cork fans were a bit worried about drawing up memories of 1990 when Tip had been All-Ireland champions in 89 and Cork came here and beat them. You might remember Mark Foley getting 2-7. Well, there were all kinds of talks about that, and of course also in 1992 something similar happening. But there was also a lot of Cork people who were fearing the worst against the Munster and All-Ireland champions. But today we've had a day of some wonderful hurling, players of immense ability out there, real thoroughbreds, and not a donkey in sight in this particular derby between the two great teams in Munster. In comes Norcall McLaughlin, number 19. Off goes Dara Fitzgibbon after a wonderful debut match. Into the heart of that Tipperary defence once again it goes. Once again pressuring applied there on Ronan Marr. Coming in to try and take it up there was Norcall McLaughlin, couldn't quite get to it. It's Marr instead. It's a free to Tipperary, and Tipperary now, as we head into 4 minutes of added time, need a goal themselves. Otherwise their chance of winning the Munster title will be gone. They'll be still very much in the hunt for the All-Ireland. All the way up it goes, batted back out, comes here as far as Michael Breen, and Breen puts it over the bar. He was hoping to keep it a little bit lower, I'm sure, but he's got 6. It's a wonderful performance by Michael Breen, and it means it's a 2-point game again.
Yeah, I think Michael Breen's performance kind of sums up this game, Joe. Mark Ellis, the centre-back, had an outstanding game. Michael Breen has scored 6 points. He has to spend all his time at 6, but it's that type of game that positions don't mean an awful lot.
Ronan Marr, great catch. Hand passing into the centre. Shane Kingston goes in to try and win it. Everybody putting their bodies on the line. Coming in here is Luke O'Farrell. O'Farrell slipping and sliding. Gets it back as far as Kingston, who got Cork's first goal. Now has he got the latest point? No, he hasn't. He's put it wide. It's a 10th wide. But it's 225 to 126. It's Cork by 2. Kieran Kingston hoping to have victory here, something he would have dreamed about. Cork come again. Mark Ellis slipping it forward here, still going forward, the Mill Street man, then having the presence of mind to pick out Lee Hahn inside his own 65. He thought it was gone over. He was punching the air with delight. He thought he'd nailed it. 2 minutes still to go. Waterford wait the winners. That'll be the Munster semi-final. This wonderful Munster championship. Delivering this afternoon, and delivering in spades. Again, Cork, who came here with the right attitude, went with youth. Joyce, back down there, looking to raid is Mikey Cahalane again. Cahalane out over the sideline, ball as well over there. Line ball is going to be to Tipperary. O'Keefe, John O'Keefe that is, ready to take it. But look at the time. Only another minute and a quarter to go. Mark Coleman heard the call. The call came from Mark Ellis. Ellis, under pressure, tries to get this ball away. Cork will beat Tipperary in the league, but that was the league, they all said. But this is the championship. As Luke O'Farrell nails it. Brilliantly delivered. Fans celebrating up on the hill. O'Farrell's point makes it 2:26 to 1:26, and now Tip know they need a goal in 45 seconds just to level the match. It's 2006 since Cork last came to Thurles to beat Tip in the championship. They beat them in 2010, but that was down in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. This is in the home of hurling, and that is Harnedy, and that's another one.
Yeah, Jaron, that's a brilliant score. The Cork are full of running. We said it earlier in the game, and Tip haven't lost anything in defeat here, but what a performance by Cork. Have we spoken too soon?
Nobody was talking about Cork as possible champions. Bill Cooper knocks it way down, defiantly back. Barry goes back after it. The 4 minutes have now been played. We wait for James Owen's whistle. Cork, absolute underdogs in the minds of everybody, writing and talking about this in the build-up to the game, but they've delivered a wonderful performance. Patrick Horgan hits this one in, the keeper saves it, the whistle is gone, and Cork have come to Thurles, and they have beaten the Munster champions of the last 2 years and the reigning All-Ireland champions Tipperary, and they've done it in spectacular style, and they've won by 4 points. An absolutely amazing performance. Kieran Kingston took a gamble with his management team to invest in youth. There were 5 players who really had very, very little championship experience. In the case of 3 of them, it was a completely new experience. But this was the day they came. This was the day they did the business, and that's the final scoreline. It's Tipperary 126, but it's Cork 2 goals and 27 points. 56 scores, the team's level on 16 occasions, Michael.
Jaron, what a game. And you know, I suppose I'm a bit of a traditionalist, a romantic, and I love these big days. I love Tip and Cork. I love, you know, the Kilkenny, the tradition, and you know, in Thurles today, and I was in Middleton last Wednesday night doing a championship preview, and the Cork ex-players, Kevin Hennessy was there, Tomás Mulcahy, and the crowd, you could sense it. All they wanted was to come here to Thurles, which they love coming to. They wanted pride, they wanted passion, they wanted heart, and they got all that. But what they got above all that was an absolutely classic forward display. That's what Cork always had. They scored 227, 222 from play, and Tipperary, in fairness, 122 from play out of 126. They didn't lose anything in defeat. They just met. The one little thing that you can never talk about, or the difference, is hunger. And the hunger today was with Cork from the very start. They had that little bit more drive, that bit more determination than Tip on the day. So a phenomenal game. They're worthy winners. And you look, Tipperary now will obviously be dangerous in the back door, but Cork going through the front door. And John Fenton mentioned beforehand, they had never lost 3 games in the first round in a row in the history of the GAA, and they didn't do it today either.
Okay, thank you, Michael. Let's go down to my colleague Claire McNamara.
Conor Lehane, congratulations. A great game, and against all of the odds, you've beaten the All-Ireland champions.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to register, to be honest, at the moment, but Joe, we've been kind of training so long all year, and Joe comes so quick, and then when it comes to today, but like, we've kind of trained so hard and stuff, and kind of got a lot of criticism, like, so like, I know it's kind of hard to explain how good it is now, but like, it's like the final whistle feeling there, and everyone come on, like, there's no better feeling than that, like.
So many young players today, but they all stood up.
Yeah, exactly, like, that's the whole point. We trust them, like, we weren't going to put them out there unless we thought they were able, like, and their attitude is phenomenal, like, and the way they performed tonight, like, every last one of the people that came on and everything was just like, it's so satisfying, like, you can't kind of put it into words.
Where did that performance come from? You know, did you feel this during the week brewing up?
And this has gone on a long time now. We've been kind of waiting for this for months, like, you know, and it kind of goes and comes so quick. When it finally is over, then, like, it's kind of just trying to enjoy it. Like, we're not deluded now, like, we know it's the quarter final and things like that, but just to kind of do it against the odds is the most kind of satisfying thing at the moment, like, you know.
Such an open game, some great scores, and you showed great character to come through those final tight, close minutes. Yeah,
I know the final minutes are to the worst and longest 2 minutes of my life, but I just to finally keep it going, like, you know, the backs played so well in the second half, like, cleaning up ball, loose ball, and, like, you know, how dangerous the sit forwards are, and to kind of get on top is just like, it's the best feeling. We haven't had a feeling like this in a long time, like, so it's really good.
Congratulations, Conor, enjoy.
Thanks a million, cheers.
Yeah, Conor Lehane, one of the heroes for Cork today, but I suppose the first thing that we have to do is to compliment both teams, Gerlach Nan, on a brilliant Munster Hurling Championship match. We couldn't have asked for a better opening to the hurling season.
Well, we kind of